Welcome to HTL 410, Laboratory Management. I'm Becky Radeball, and I'm genuinely glad you're here with me. You've worked hard to get to this point in your histotechnology education, and this course represents a real pivot. We're going to build the skill set that takes a skilled histotechnologist and shapes them into an effective laboratory leader. Whether or not you ever hold a manager title, this material will matter. The HTL exam in particular draws heavily from laboratory management concepts, and this course is designed to prepare you for exactly that. So, let's get started. You already know how to run a tissue processor and troubleshoot a special stain. That technical foundation is non-negotiable, and you've earned it. But here's the thing. Technical skill gets you in the door. It does not, by itself, keep a laboratory functioning. Every histology lab needs someone who understands how to hire staff, maintain compliance, manage quality, read a budget, and lead a team. These are management skills, and they are tested directly on the Board of Certification's HTL exam under Laboratory Operations. Even if you never want to be a manager, you will work for one. Understanding how a well-run lab operates makes you a better technologist and a more valuable colleague. This course is your bridge from the bench to the bigger picture. Our primary resource this semester is Laboratory Operations and Management, Foundations of Practice, written by Isabel Ellinger and Griffin. This isn't a generic business management textbook. It was specifically written for laboratory professionals transitioning into or preparing for management roles. That distinction matters. The examples are relevant, the language is familiar, and the content aligns closely with what the BOC tests on the HTL exam. We'll move through roughly one chapter per week, so keeping up with the reading is essential. The lectures are designed to complement the textbook, not replace it. I'll highlight and apply the content, but the reading is where the depth lives, so plan for it. Here's the full arc of the semester. We begin with professionalism and ethics because those are the non-negotiables that underpin everything else in a clinical environment. From there, we move into communication, how laboratories are structured, regulatory compliance, and quality management systems. In the second half, we shift toward the human and financial dimensions of leadership. We'll cover health information systems, leadership styles, managing a diverse team, the full hiring and training cycle, and finally, budgeting and reimbursement. Every single one of these topics appears on the BOC HTL exam blueprint. This course is not just academic preparation, it is direct exam preparation. Stay engaged, and you'll walk into that exam with real confidence in the management sections. Across the semester, you'll complete 6 major projects. Let me walk you through them briefly, because I want you to understand why each one exists. The Quality Control Plan asks you to design a working QC program, not just describe one. The Preventative Maintenance Schedule does the same for equipment management. The budget assignment puts real numbers in front of you and asks you to make decisions. The project plan paper develops your ability to propose and justify a management initiative in writing. The process improvement project asks you to identify a real problem and walk through a structured improvement process. And finally, the reflective management journal asks you to document your thinking as it evolves. Each of these projects is scaffolded, meaning they build on content from previous weeks. Nothing here is assigned in isolation. Do the reading, engage with the lectures, and the projects will feel like natural extensions of what you've already learned. Let's talk about weekly rhythm of this course. Every week follows the same predictable structure, and that's by design. This consistent schedule reduces the mental load of managing your coursework. freeing you to focus on the material itself. You'll always know what's due and when, allowing you to plan your week effectively. This predictable pace also encourages steady engagement, helping you absorb and apply the concepts rather than cramming. Treat this course like a professional commitment. Block out the time and show up for it. Students who fall behind early often struggle to recover, so don't let that happen to you. And speaking of deadlines, there's a specific reason for those Saturday due dates. Following on from our discussion of the weekly rhythm, you might wonder why major deliverables are due on Saturday. The reason is straightforward. I grade over the weekend so that my feedback reaches you before the next stage of your work begins. This isn't an accident, it's a deliberate design choice to make feedback truly useful. Feedback that arrives too late is nearly useless. And feedback that arrives while the material is still fresh and before your next assignment becomes a powerful learning tool. I'll always highlight what you did well, what needs improvement, and specifically, what to carry forward. Read those comments before you start your next project. Students who consistently do this show the most growth. This feedback loop is, in itself, a management skill. In a well-run lab, feedback is timely, specific, and actionable. We're practicing that here. Now, let's look at the big picture dates for the semester. We've covered the weekly flow and the importance of timely feedback. Now let's mark these 3 critical dates on your calendar right now so that they will not sneak up on you. The midterm exam lands in week 8, covering everything from the first half of the course, including both concepts and application. Your process improvement project, your most substantial deliverable, is due in week 15. This project requires significant time to develop, so please do not start it in week 14. Finally, the objective final exam closes out the course in week 16. This final is cumulative and formatted much like the BOC exam, with multiple choice, scenario-based questions. Think of it as a dress rehearsal for your certification. Between now and week 8, you're building your foundation. From week 8 to week 15, you're applying and synthesizing. Week 16 is your demonstration. This is the arc of your semester. And as you navigate these milestones, remember that you're not alone. And as we just discussed the key dates, I want to emphasize that you are not on your own in this course. Proactive communication is a professional skill, and you'll practice it here. I post weekly announcements every Monday, previewing the week and providing important context. I respond to Canvas inbox messages and emails within 48 hours, usually much faster though. I also hold both in-person and virtual office hours. The schedule is in Canvas and Zoom links are always available. Here's what I ask of you. Reach out early. If something is unclear in week 2, don't wait until week 6 to ask. If you're struggling with the concept, come to office hours before the assignment is due, not after. Anticipating problems and addressing them before they become crises is a vital skill for any laboratory manager. We'll talk about it explicitly later, but start practicing it now in how you manage this course. So, what does success in HTL 410 actually look like? Success in this course isn't about a single moment. It's about consistent, deliberate actions. It's about building habits that will serve you well, not just for this semester, but throughout your career. Students who excel here do a few things consistently. They stay on pace with the reading and engage with the weekly modules. They also read my feedback before starting the next assignment, and they actually apply it. This isn't just about getting a good grade. It's about connecting what you're learning to your actual practice. Think about your own lab, your supervisor, your team dynamics, and use this course as a lens for understanding what you see every day. This kind of engaged learning prepares you for the BOC exam, for a management role, and for a meaningful career in histotechnology. Now, let's make the connection to the exam even more explicit. You might be wondering why management skills are so crucial, especially if you don't aspire to be a manager. The answer is simple. The BOC HTL examination includes a dedicated laboratory operations domain. This isn't optional content. It's a significant portion of the exam. This course systematically covers every topic within that domain: quality control, safety regulations, personnel management, budgeting, and compliance. Understanding how a laboratory operates at the management level makes you a better technologist. You'll understand the why behind policies and decisions, making you more effective and valuable. This course is your direct preparation for that critical exam domain. So, let's talk about the very first building block for all of this. That wraps up our orientation to HTL 410. You now have a clear understanding of the course structure, expectations, and its direct relevance to your BOC exam and future career. Next, we're diving into our first core content topic: professionalism in the clinical laboratory. This isn't a soft skill topic. It carries significant legal, ethical, and regulatory weight that every histotechnologist must grasp. The Chapter 1 reading provides the full framework for this discussion, so please ensure you've reviewed it thoroughly. I'll see you in the next lecture.